The other day, I was in a room with a colleague I have deep respect for. I didn't think I was on their radar. I didn't realize it at the time, but I've been carrying the story I don't matter for years. Then, in the course of this broader discussion in the meeting, my colleague said, Deb, you say the most insightful things. Wait, what? I did a double take. The context I'd been living in was I don't matter. I'm nice, but not impressive. It was the same distorted lens that I'd been carrying since I was a kid. And right there, I caught it. That subtle saboteur that distort everything. And today, we're naming it. If you've ever felt stuck, self-doubting, or like growing your business has gotten heavier than it should be, then this one's for you.
Every day I'm changing, I'm taking small steps, and every time I'm falling, I go to new depths. I will become who I've always been.
Welcome home, inspired entrepreneurs. I'm Deborah Hartnett, master performance coach and fellow entrepreneur walking this purposeful path with you. I am really glad you're here. You being here says you're someone who wants more ease, more alignment, more truth in the way you grow your business, not just results at any cost. You're not here to chase. You're here to choose, to pause, to reflect, to build something meaningful without burning yourself out in the process. Have you ever found yourself spiraling over something that didn't even happen, but your nervous system swears it did? Maybe a client didn't renew, a post flopped, you walked into a room and instantly felt like you didn't belong. What's really hijacking your peace in those moments? It's not the thing that happened, and it's not your team, and it's not your systems. There's something else at play, something sneakier, and today we're naming it. Growing up, I was the youngest of three girls. My oldest sister, well, she was everyone's friend. Everyone loved her. My friends flocked to her. They'd rather play with her than me. And my middle sister, well, she was the sporty one. That's when it happened. In those early years, I made a decision that I couldn't be either one of my sisters. I couldn't be sporty. I couldn't be smart or popular. So what could I be? And I ended up being funny and entertaining. I made people laugh, I made noise, and I took the heat off. But what it was compensating for was the belief deep down that I don't matter as much as they do. And that became what I call my distorted lens, the subconscious story that shaped how I moved through life. So I spent years of my life, and sometimes I still do, trying to prove my value instead of just being valuable. Let's talk neuroscience. What I was doing, what we all do, was interpreting my reality through a distorted lens I didn't even realize was there. Content is what happened. So to go back to the meeting, the content was what the person said about me. They said, Deb, you say the most insightful things. That's what happened. That's the content. Then there's the context, and that's the lens we're seeing through and listening through. In neuroscience, they call that the default mode network, or DMN. And it's the part that lights up in the brain when you're not focused, and it replays old loops, past wounds, assumptions, fears, survival stories. It's the survival part of our brain. In a Harvard study, researchers found that our minds wander nearly 47% of the time, and most of that wandering is negative and disconnected from reality. Let me say that again. Nearly 47% of the time, almost half the time, our minds are wandering. The brain doesn't really distinguish between thought and experience. So when you think they don't respect me or I'm not good enough, your nervous system reacts like it's true. Cortisol spikes, creativity drops, and risk-taking out the window. You're in complete survival mode. So you might say, okay, that's great, but why does this matter for me as a business owner? Well, This isn't just emotional fluff. This is performance critical. Distorted lenses do three major things. Skew your decisions. You don't raise your prices because you assume they'll walk. You avoid pitching because you expect a no. Sabotage your leadership. You overwork, micromanage, or freeze. And they leak into client relationships. If you're doubting yourself, they feel it and mirror it. Okay, let's take a deep breath together. If you're realizing you've been seeing your business and yourself through a distorted lens, and you're ready to lead from something truer, I want to invite you to my free Soul Center training, Purpose to Profit. We go deep into how to shift the patterns that sabotage your leadership so that you can finally grow a business from a place that reflects who you really are. To register for the free training, head to the link in the show notes or just DM me the word purpose and I'll send you the link. Now back to the invisible saboteur. Now we've named it. The sneaky silent saboteur that distorts how you lead, decide, and grow, and why it matters so much to see it clearly in business. But awareness alone isn't enough. The question is, what do you do once you see this distorted lens? This is the part that people skip, and it's the part that changes everything. This is the shift, and it's the work I've been doing for over a decade with purpose-driven founders all over the world. It's a simple but powerful three-part framework that I call the inspired alignment model. It's the practice that helps you shift out of distortion and back into grounded clarity. If you feel disempowered, upset, shut down, you're suppressing yourself in some way. The first step is to pause. Get present. Interrupt the spiral and ask, what distorted lens am I seeing through? The second step is remember. Return to what's true. What does your highest self know? Is this thought aligned, empowering, compassionate? And the final step is reclaim. Choose again. Speak the aligned truth out loud. Anchor into it. This is how we start leading from alignment, not reaction. What does this process look like in action? Let's go back to the colleague in the meeting. I'm coming into the meeting already with the lens that I don't matter. I was floored because it completely went against what I was treating as the truth when it was unexamined. The second part is to remember, returning to what's true for you. In this situation, who I am for the world is that people are lit up by the life they're living. That is my highest self. I want people to be lit up, empowered, and inspired by their lives. See, that's going to get me speaking up more in a meeting, and what I have to say matters. The third step is to reclaim. You reframe that distorted lens. So in this situation, reframing the lens to my commitment, which is to empower people. And so in the meeting, I was able to internally speak my aligned truth. After that, the meeting was more joyful. I was more present. I was contributing. That's the process. Pause, remember, reclaim. Start leading from alignment, not reaction. Reclaim your energy, your clarity, and your power. You are not your distorted lens. You are not your past. You are not your old loops. You are the author, the leader. The old lens was shaped by fear, but the next chapter, it's being led by you, with purpose, with alignment, with love. If this stirred something in you, trust it. That was your soul saying, yes, this is what I've been waiting for. Share this episode with someone who's ready to release the old lens and reclaim their truth. And don't forget to sign up for the Purpose to Profit free training. You can find the link in the show notes, and I'll see you there. Remember, own your lens or it will own you. Until next time, breathe, align, and reclaim. Your soul didn't come here to play small. It came here to lead. Welcome home. Welcome to the Inspired Entrepreneur.
I will grow in my own way. Every day I'm changing, I'm taking small steps, and every time I'm falling, I go to new depths. I will become who I've always been.
And because I care about you and want to keep things above board, here's the quick legal bit. The Inspired Entrepreneur podcast and content posted by Deborah Hartnett is presented solely for general information, educational, and inspirational purposes. The use of information on this podcast or materials linked from this podcast or website is at the user's own risk. It's not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professional diagnosis or treatment. Users should not disregard or delay obtaining medical, mental health, legal, or business advice for any situation and should seek the assistance of qualified professionals for any such conditions or decisions.